The parking garage smelled like wet concrete and gasoline. Alma's heels echoed too loud against the floor. She was running, but not fast enough. Her breath came out in short bursts that hurt her chest. Behind her, she could hear footsteps. Steady, unhurried. Khevin never had to run, because he always caught up. Her phone was dead. The security booth at the entrance had been empty. The few cars scattered across the levels were locked and dark. There was no one, except for a man standing near a black sedan under one of the overhead lights. Alma didn't think. She just moved. She threw herself at him. Her arms went around his torso, and she pressed her face against his chest. The fabric of his coat was expensive. Well, maybe. He went completely still. She could feel the tension locked through his entire body. He didn't know her. She didn't know him, but she held on anyway. She tilted her head up just enough to see his face. Sharp jaw, dark eyes, black hair pushed back. His expression gave nothing away. He looked down at her, without moving, without speaking. Alma's voice came out barely above a whisper. Please, just pretend you know me. His eyes narrowed slightly. He didn't pull away. He didn't push her off. For a moment, he just looked at her. Then his gaze shifted past her shoulder. Something in his posture changed. The stillness became something else. Something controlled but dangerous. Alma. Khevin's voice made her flinch. She gripped the stranger's coat tighter. The man holding her didn't move. He just kept looking past her with those dark, unreadable eyes. Khevin's footsteps came closer. Confident. Familiar. Baby, what are you doing? Come here. The stranger's hand came up slowly. His fingers touched her waist. Light, careful, like he was asking permission. Alma pressed closer to him. His hand settled more firmly against her side. You know this man? The stranger's voice was quiet. There was an accent there. Korean. It wrapped around the English words in a way that made them sound softer. Alma shook her head against his chest. No. Alma, stop playing games. Khevin was right behind her now. This is embarrassing. Let's go home and talk. The stranger's other hand came up. He touched her chin and tilted her face up toward his. His eyes searched hers for something. She didn't know what, but something in his expression shifted. He looked over her shoulder. She says she doesn't know you. This is between me and my girlfriend. Kevin's voice got harder. Step away from her. She's holding on to me. The stranger said it like he was commenting on the weather. I don't think she wants to go with you. Alma could feel Khevin getting angry. She knew the signs, the way his breathing changed, the silence before he exploded. She turned her head just enough to see him. Tall, blonde hair, blue eyes that had fooled her 2 years ago. His jaw was tight now. His hands were clenched. You don't know what you're getting into. Khevin took a step forward. Let her go. Now. The stranger didn't move. His hand stayed on her waist. Steady. No. Just that. Nothing else. Kevin's face went red. Do you know who I am? I work for the embassy. I have connections. You're going to regret this. The stranger tilted his head slightly. The gesture was almost curious. Are you threatening me? I'm telling you to back off before you get hurt. 2 men appeared from somewhere behind the cars. Alma hadn't seen them before. They moved like they'd been waiting. Both Asian, both in dark suits. Both looked at the stranger like they were waiting for orders. The stranger didn't look at them. He kept his eyes on Khevin. You should leave. Khevin laughed. It wasn't a real laugh. You think I'm scared of you and your friends? Alma, I'm giving you one more chance. Come here right now, or I swear to God you'll regret it. The stranger's fingers tightened on her waist. Just a fraction. She's not going anywhere. This is kidnapping. I'll call the police. Call them? The stranger's voice stayed quiet. Calm. Tell them you were chasing a woman through a parking garage at night. Tell them she ran from you. Tell them she's afraid of you. Kevin's expression changed. The anger was still there, but something else came into his eyes. Calculation. Alma, tell him. Tell him you're coming home with me. Alma's throat felt tight. She couldn't make words come out. The stranger must have felt her trembling, because his hand moved up to the back of her neck. His thumb brushed against her skin. The touch was gentle. Breathe, he said quietly. Just to her. She pulled in air. It hurt going down. Khevin took another step forward. One of the men in suits moved to block him. Khevin stopped. His eyes went from the stranger to Alma and back. This isn't over. You hear me, Alma? This isn't over. You can't just leave. You can't just walk away from me. She already did. The stranger's thumb kept moving against her neck. Slow. Leave. Don't come back. Or what? Khevin spread his hands. You'll hurt me? In front of witnesses? In a parking garage with cameras everywhere. The stranger smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I don't need to hurt you. You'll hurt yourself. Men like you always do. Something passed between them. Something Alma didn't understand. Khevin stared at him for a long moment. Then he looked at her one more time. You're making a mistake. You need me. You have nothing without me. No visa. No job. No place to live. You'll come crawling back. He turned and walked away. His footsteps echoed across the garage. Alma watched until he disappeared around the corner. Her whole body was shaking now. The adrenaline was leaving and everything felt weak. The stranger's arms came around her, full and sure. He pulled her against his chest and held her there. She could hear his heartbeat. Steady, unaffected. He's gone, the stranger said. Alma nodded against his coat. She knew she should let go. She knew she should step back and thank him and figure out what to do next. But her arms wouldn't move. She just stood there holding on to someone she didn't know while two men in suits watched silently. The stranger didn't push her away. He just held her and waited. After a long moment, Alma pulled back enough to look up at him. Thank you. He studied her face. His eyes moved over her features like he was memorizing them. Are you hurt? No. Did he hurt you before? Is that why you ran? Alma swallowed. She didn't want to answer that. She didn't want to talk about the bruises that had faded or the ones that hadn't. She didn't want to explain 2 years of slowly losing herself. The stranger seemed to understand. He nodded once. Do you have somewhere safe to go? That was the question. Alma looked down. I don't know. Family? Friends. She shook her head. Her family was in Accra. Her friends were Kevin's friends. The apartment was Kevin's apartment. Her visa was tied to her student status, but she dropped out last semester because Khevin convinced her she didn't need school. She had nothing. Khevin was right about that part. The stranger was quiet for a moment. Then he said something in Korean to the two men. They both nodded and walked away toward another car. The stranger looked back at Alma. What's your name? Alma. Alma. He said it carefully, getting the sounds right. I'm Han Tae-san. Most people call me Mr. Han. She realized she was still holding on to his coat. She made herself let go. Her hands felt empty, cold. Tae-san shrugged out his coat and put it around her shoulders. It was warm from his body. It smelled like expensive cologne and something else she couldn't name. Get in the car, he said. Alma looked at the black sedan, then at him. I don't know you. No, you could be dangerous. Yes. At least he was honest. Alma pulled his coat tighter around herself. Why did you help me? Tae-san was quiet. He looked at her with those dark eyes that gave nothing away. You asked me to. That was all. No big explanation. No hero speech. Just the simple truth. Alma made a choice. She got in the car. Tae-san walked around and slid into the driver's seat. He started the engine but didn't drive. He looked over at her. Where was he taking you? Before you ran. Home. His home. Is your name on the lease? No. Do you have things that you need? Alma thought about her clothes. Her books. Her laptop. Her grandmother's bracelet. Yes. Tae-san pulled out his phone and typed something. Give me the address. She did. He sent the message and put the phone away. Then he finally pulled out of the parking space and drove toward the exit. Where are we going? Alma asked. Somewhere safe. That wasn't really an answer, but Alma was too tired to push. She leaned her head against the window and watched the city lights blur past. Seoul at night was beautiful. She thought that when she first arrived 3 years ago. New country, new language, new life. She was going to get her master's degree in international relations. Then she met Khevin at an expat networking event. He made her feel special, safe, like she finally had someone on her side in this foreign place. She didn't know when it changed, when he started checking her phone, when he started deciding who she could see, when the first time he grabbed her arm hard enough to bruise became the second time and then the third. The car stopped. Alma blinked and realized they were in an underground garage. Everything was clean and expensive. The kind of place where each parking space probably cost more than her tuition had. Tae-san got out and came around to open her door. She stepped out and followed him to an elevator. They rode up in silence. The elevator was all mirrors and brush metal. Alma caught sight of herself and almost didn't recognize the woman looking back. Her hair was messy. Her makeup was smudged. Her eyes looked huge and frightened. The elevator opened directly into an apartment. Not a hallway, just straight into a massive open space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Amma stepped out slowly. The floors were dark wood. The furniture was minimal and modern. Everything was in shades of black and white and gray. It looked like something from a magazine. Tae-san walked to the kitchen and poured water into a glass. He brought it to her. Drink. She did. The water was cold and clean. Tae-san watched her drink. Then he said, "There are 3 bedrooms. You can choose which one you want. The bathroom has everything you need. I'll have your things brought here tomorrow." Amma lowered the glass. "I can't stay here." "Why not?" "Because I don't know you. Because this is crazy. Because—" She trailed off. Because she didn't have any other options. Because she was terrified Khevin would find her if she tried to go to a hotel. Because this stranger with the cold eyes had made her feel safer in 10 minutes than Khevin had in 2 years. Tae-san took the glass from her hands and set it on the counter. "You're tired. You're scared. You don't have to make any decisions tonight. Just sleep. Tomorrow we'll figure out what comes next." "Who are you?" Amma asked. "Really? Someone who can keep you safe." "That's not an answer." Tae-san's mouth almost smiled. "Almost? No, it's not." He showed her to one of the bedrooms. It was bigger than the apartment she'd shared with Khevin. The bed was massive. There were fresh towels in the attached bathroom. Tae-san told her to lock the door if it made her feel better. Then he left. Amma did lock the door. Then she sat on the edge of the bed and put her face in her hands. She didn't cry. She'd stopped crying months ago. Crying didn't help. Crying just made Khevin angrier. She took a shower instead. The water was hot and strong. She scrubbed herself until her skin was pink. When she got out, she realized she didn't have any clothes except what she'd been wearing. She wrapped herself in a towel and opened the bedroom door carefully. There was a stack of clothes on the floor outside. Sweatpants. A t-shirt. Both too big but clean and soft. Amma took them and closed the door again. She put them on. They smelled like laundry detergent and nothing else. She crawled into the bed and pulled the covers up to her chin. The sheets were cool and smooth. The pillow was perfect. For the first time in 2 years, Amma fell asleep, without being afraid of what she'd wake up to. She woke to sunlight streaming through windows she'd forgotten to cover. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. Then it all came back. The parking garage. "Khevin!" "Tae-san." Amma sat up. She could hear sounds from somewhere in the apartment. She got out of bed and padded to the door. When she opened it, she could smell coffee. Tae-san was in the kitchen. He was wearing different clothes. Black pants. White shirt with the sleeves rolled up. His hair was still perfect. He looked up when she came in. "Coffee?" he asked. "Please." He poured her a cup and slid it across the counter. Amma wrapped her hands around it. "Your things are in the second bedroom," Tae-san said. "My men picked them up an hour ago." Amma stared at him. How did they get in? Does it matter? It probably should have. But Amma found she didn't care. She was just relieved to have her stuff. Her grandmother's bracelet. Her passport. Her phone. "Thank you." Tae-san nodded. He didn't drink coffee. He just stood there watching her. "I need to figure out what to do," Amma said. "I can't stay here forever." "Why not?" "Because this isn't my life. You're a stranger who helped me one time. You need somewhere safe. This is safe. You don't even know me." "I know enough." Amma set down her coffee. "What do you know?" Tae-san was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I know you ran from someone who hurt you. I know you have nowhere else to go. I know you're stronger than you think because you're still standing here instead of breaking down." His words did something to her chest. Made it tight. Amma looked away. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. People don't help for nothing." "Some people do." Amma laughed. It came out bitter. "Not in my experience." Tae-san walked around the counter. He stopped a few feet away from her. "Close, but not touching. I'm not going to hurt you, Amma. I'm not going to touch you without permission. I'm not going to keep you here against your will. You can leave any time you want. But while you're here, you're safe. That's all I want. For you to be safe." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe him so badly. But trust was hard when it had been used against her so many times. "Why?" she asked. "Why do you care?" Tae-san looked at her for a long moment. "I don't know yet." At least that was honest. Amma spent the rest of the morning unpacking. Everything was there. Even things she hadn't realized she cared about. A photo of her family back in Accra, a scarf her mother had sent her, the books she bought before Khevin decided she read too much. Tae-san left in the afternoon. He told her to order food if she was hungry. He told her not to open the door for anyone. Then he was gone. She was looking through the books in his office when her phone rang. Khevin. She stared at his name on the screen. Her hand shook. She let it go to voicemail. 10 seconds later it rang again. And again. And again. Finally she answered. Stop calling me. Baby, please. Just listen. Kevin's voice was soft, pleading. I'm sorry about last night. I was just worried about you. You scared me when you ran like that. I'm not coming back, Khevin. Where are you? Who was that guy? Are you sleeping with him? And there it was. The real Khevin. The one who couldn't stand the idea of her having anything that wasn't about him. That's none of your business, Amma said. Everything about you is my business. You're mine, Amma. You don't get to just leave. I already left. You have nothing without me. No visa, no money, no future. You think some random Korean guy is going to take care of you? He'll use you and throw you away. Amma's throat felt tight. Goodbye, Khevin. If you hang up on me, I'll find you. You know I will. I'll make your life hell. I'll get you deported. I'll make sure you can never work here again. She ended the call. Then she blocked his number. Her hands were shaking so hard, she almost dropped the phone. The apartment door opened. Tae-san walked in carrying bags of food. He took one look at her face and set the bags down. What happened? Khevin called. What did he say? Amma shook her head. She didn't want to repeat it. Tae-san crossed the room and took her phone gently from her hands. He looked at the screen, at the blocked number. Something in his expression went cold. He threatened you. It wasn't a question. Amma nodded. Tae-san set her phone on the counter. He pulled out his own phone and made a call. He spoke in rapid Korean. Amma couldn't understand the words, but she understood the tone. Cold, controlled, dangerous. When he hung up, he looked at her. He won't bother you again. You can't promise that. Yes, I can. There was something in his voice. Something that made Amma believe him, even though she knew she shouldn't. What are you going to do? Make sure he understands the consequences of contacting you. Tae-san, I don't want you to get in trouble because of me. He stepped closer. His hand came up slowly. He touched her cheek with just his fingertips. The touch was so gentle it made her eyes sting. Let me worry about that. They ate dinner together. Tae-san had brought Korean food. He showed her how to eat it, what went with what. He didn't ask about Khevin again. He asked about her family instead, about Ghana, about what she missed most about home. Amma found herself talking. She told him about her mother, who sold textiles at Makola Market, about her father who worked as an accountant, about her younger brother who wanted to be an engineer. She told him about growing up in Accra, about the noise and the color and the life everywhere. Tae-san listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't check his phone. He just listened like what she was saying actually mattered. When she finally stopped talking, she felt embarrassed. Sorry, I talked too much. No, Tae-san said. You don't talk enough. You've been quiet for too long. Something about the way he said it made her chest hurt. Like he could see all the ways she'd made herself smaller for Khevin. All the time she swallowed her words because it was easier than fighting. Tell me about you, Amma said. It's only fair. Tae-san smiled slightly. What do you want to know? Anything. I'm living in your apartment. And I don't even know what you do for work. The smile faded. I run a business. What kind of business? Import and export. Investments. Various other things. That was vague enough to be meaningless. Amma thought about the men in suits. The way Tae-san had handled Khevin without raising his voice. The apartment that cost more than she'd make in a lifetime. Legal things. Tae-san met her eyes. Some of them. At least he was honest. Amma should have been afraid. She should have packed her things and left. But she didn't. Are you dangerous? Yes. To me? No. How can I trust that? Tae-san leaned back in his chair. You can't. Trust isn't something I can give you. You have to decide for yourself. They looked at each other across the table. Amma tried to read his face. Tried to see past the coldness to whatever was underneath. She caught glimpses. Brief moments where something warmer showed through. But mostly he was unreadable. I should be more afraid of you, Amma said quietly. Yes, but I'm not. I know. Why is that? Tae-san stood up. He started clearing the dishes. Because you know the difference between someone who wants to hurt you and someone who wants to protect you. You've lived with the first kind. Now you're learning what the second kind feels like. He was right. Alma stood and helped him clean up. They moved around the kitchen in silence. It was comfortable, easy. Nothing like the tense silence she lived in with Khevin, where every moment felt like waiting for an explosion. That night Alma lay in bed thinking about trust, about safety, about the stranger who'd wrapped his arms around her when she had nothing and no one. She thought about Tae-san's hands, how they touched her with such careful gentleness, like she was something precious, something that could break. Khevin had touched her like she belonged to him, like she was property. Tae-san touched her like he was asking permission every time. The next morning, Alma woke to her phone buzzing. Not a call, a message from a number she didn't recognize. Asterisk, you think you can just leave? I know where you are. I'm coming for you. Asterisk. Her blood went cold. Khevin. He'd gotten a new number. She got out of bed and went to find Tae-san. He was in his office on a call. When he saw her face, he ended it immediately. What's wrong? She showed him the message. Tae-san read it. His expression didn't change, but something in his eyes went dark. Pack a bag, he said. We're leaving. What? Why? Because he's escalating. And I need to handle this before it gets worse. Tae-san, trust me. Please. I'ma pack quickly. Tae-san made more calls. Spoke in that cold, controlled Korean that made the hair on her arms stand up. 20 minutes later, they were in his car, driving out of the city. Where are we going? Alma asked. Somewhere he can't find you. They drove for an hour. Out of Seoul, into the countryside. The safe house was small. Hidden. Tae-san unlocked the door, and they went inside. You'll be safe here, he said. I need to go back to the city. Handle some things. I'll be back tonight. You're leaving me here alone? My men are outside. You won't see them, but they're there. No one gets near this place without me knowing. Alma grabbed his arm. What are you going to do? Tae-san looked at her. What I should have done from the beginning. Don't hurt him. Please. I don't want you to. I'm not going to hurt him. Tae-san touched her face. But I am going to make sure he never threatens you again. He left. Alma sat in the empty house and tried not to think about what that meant. She unpacked her bag, looked out the windows, tried to read. But her mind kept going back to Kevin's message. I'm coming for you. Hours passed. The sun started to set. Alma's phone rang. Tae-san. It's done, he said. What's done? Khevin won't be bothering you anymore. He's been arrested. Visa fraud. Assault charges. False imprisonment. The embassy fired him. He'll be deported within the week. Alma sat down heavily. How did you? I made some calls. Provided some evidence. The rest took care of itself. What evidence? Medical records from the hospital you went to after he hurt you. Security footage from your building, showing him dragging you inside. Testimony from your neighbors who heard you screaming. Should I go on? Alma's hands were shaking. You had all that? I had my people gather it yesterday, just in case. You were planning this. I was protecting you. Alma didn't know what to feel. Relief, fear, gratitude, all of it at once. When are you coming back? I'm already on my way. He arrived 2 hours later. Alma heard the car, heard his footsteps. Then he was there, standing in the doorway, looking at her. She ran to him, threw her arms around him. He caught her, held her. His hand came up to the back of her head. It's over, he said quietly. You're safe now. Alma pulled back just enough to look at him. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. Yes, I do. You saved me. Again. Tae-san's thumb brushed her cheek. You saved yourself. You ran. You fought. You survived. I just helped. I couldn't have done it without you. You're stronger than you think. Alma didn't plan what happened next. She just leaned up and kissed him. Soft, brief, but intentional. Tae-san went very still. When she pulled back, his eyes were dark, searching hers. Alma, I know, she said. I know this is fast. I know it's complicated. But I also know I feel safer with you than I've ever felt with anyone. And I don't want to pretend I don't. Tae-san's hand came up to cup her face. I need you to be sure. I need you to want this because you want it, not because you feel like you owe me, not because you're... I'm sure, Alma said. I want this. I want you. He kissed her then, slow and careful. His hand stayed gentle, reverent, like she was something precious. When they finally broke apart, they were both breathing hard. Tae-san pressed his forehead against hers. "Tell me if it's too much," he said. "Tell me if you need me to slow down." "I will. I promise." They stayed at the safe house that night. Tae-san made them dinner. They ate on the couch and talked. About everything. About nothing. About the strange path that had brought them together. "Can I ask you something?" Amma said. "Yes." "That night in the parking garage. Why did you really help me? You could have walked away." Tae-san was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "My mother left my father when I was 7. He was a violent man. She tried many times, but he always found her. Until one night a stranger helped her, gave her money, drove her to a shelter. My father never found us after that." Amma looked at him. Tae-san's face was calm, but his eyes were somewhere else. "The stranger didn't know us," Tae-san continued. "Didn't know us anything. But he helped because it was right. My mother made me promise to be like that, to help when I could." "What happened to your mother?" Amma asked quietly. "She died when I was 14. Cancer." Tae-san's voice was steady. "Before she died, she made me promise to be a good man, to use whatever power I had to help people who needed it." "And do you?" "Use your power to help people." Tae-san smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. "I try, but I'm not a good man, Amma. I've done things your mother wouldn't approve of. I've hurt people. I've made choices that keep me awake at night. But when I can help someone the way that stranger helped my mother, I do." Amma reached out and touched his hand. "Thank you for helping me, for keeping your promise to your mother." Tae-san turned his hand over and laced his fingers through hers. "You're welcome." That night, they slept in the same bed, just sleeping. Tae-san held her and she felt safe, completely safe, for the first time in years. In the morning, Tae-san got a call. He stepped outside to take it. When he came back, his expression was different. Harder. "What's wrong?" Amma asked. "My uncle. He wanted a meeting." "About what?" "About you." Amma's stomach dropped. "What about me?" "He thinks you're a distraction. That I'm making mistakes because of you. He wants me to end this." "Are you going to?" Tae-san looked at her. "No, but your family." "My family will adjust, or they won't. Either way, I'm not letting you go." He left for the meeting an hour later. Told Amma to stay at the safe house. Promised he'd be back soon. But hours passed. Then more hours. The sun set. Amma tried calling him. No answer. She tried again. Nothing. She was starting to panic when her phone finally rang. But it wasn't Tae-san. It was a number she didn't recognize. "Hello? Amma?" A young male voice. Korean accent. "My name is Minwoo. I'm Tae-san's. I work with him. He asked me to call you." "Where is he? Is he okay?" "He's fine. But there's been a complication. His uncle made a move. Challenged his authority." Tae-san had to respond. "What does that mean?" Minwoo hesitated. "It means he's dealing with family business. It might take a while. He wanted you to know he's okay, that you're safe, that he'll come back as soon as he can." "How long?" "I don't know. Maybe a day. Maybe 2. Amma hung up, sat on the couch. Try not to think about what dealing with family business meant. One day passed. Then another. Minwoo called twice to check on her. Said Tae-san was fine. Said he'd be back soon, but wouldn't give details. On the 3rd day, Amma's phone rang. "Tae-san, are you okay?" She asked immediately. "I'm fine." His voice sounded tired. "I'm coming to get you. We need to talk." He arrived an hour later. He looked exhausted. There were bruises on his knuckles, a cut near his eyebrow. Amma ran to him. "What happened?" "My uncle challenged me. Traditional way. Single combat. Winner leads a family." "You fought him?" "I didn't have a choice." "Did you?" "He's dead, Amma." Tae-san said it quietly. "I killed him." Amma stepped back. Her mind was racing. "You killed your uncle. He gave me no choice. It was him. Or me. What happens now?" "Now I'm officially the head of the family again. Undisputed. But there's a cost." "What cost?" Tae-san looked at her. "They want to give you up. Say you're a distraction. That you make me weak. They want me to send you away." Amma felt her heart stop. "And are you going to send me away?" "No." Tae-san crossed the room and took her hands. "But I need you to understand what that means. It means my family will see you as a threat. It means some of them will never accept you. It means your life will be complicated and dangerous, and nothing like what you probably imagined. I don't care about that. You should care. Why? Because it's hard? Because it's dangerous? I've been living in danger for 2 years, Tae-san. At least with you, I know you'll protect me. Tae-san pulled her close. I will. I promise you I will. Then that's all I need. They went back to Seoul that night, back to his apartment. Alma unpacked, tried to settle back into the strange new normal of her life, but she could feel the weight of Tae-san's world now. The danger, the violence, the constant threat underneath everything. 2 days later, a woman showed up at the apartment. Korean, beautiful. She looked at Tae-san with familiar eyes. Who's this? Alma asked. Park Seo-yeon, Tae-san said coldly. My ex-fiancé. Seo-yeon smiled. I heard about your uncle. Such a tragedy. And I heard you've been distracted lately. What do you want, Seo-yeon? To warn you, the family won't accept her. You know that. You're making yourself vulnerable. That's my choice. Seo-yeon looked at Alma. You're pretty. I can see the appeal. But you're going to get him killed. Get out, Tae-san said. I'm just telling you the truth. She's a liability. And when the family realizes that, I said get out. Seo-yeon left, but her words stayed. You're going to get him killed. That night, Alma couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Seo-yeon's warning, about the danger she was bringing to Tae-san, about the uncle he'd killed because of her. She got up and found Tae-san in his office. He looked up when she came in. Can't sleep? He asked. Is she right? Am I making you vulnerable? Seo-yeon says a lot of things. Most of them are self-serving. But is she right? Tae-san leaned back in his chair. You complicate things. Yes, but you also make me better. You make me want to be better. Even if it costs you everything, you are everything. Alma walked over to him, climbed into his lap, wrapped her arms around his neck. I love you. She hadn't meant to say it, but there it was. Tae-san's eyes went wide, then soft. Say it again. I love you. He kissed her, deep and desperate, like he'd been waiting to hear those words. When he pulled back, his voice was rough. I love you, too. They made love that night, slow and careful. Tae-san watched her face the whole time, made sure she was okay, made sure she wanted this. And when she fell apart in his arms, he held her through it. After they lay tangled together, Alma pressed her face against his neck and breathed him in. Are you okay? Tae-san asked quietly. Yes. No regrets. None. His arms tightened around her. Good, because I'm not letting you go now. But the peace didn't last. 3 days later, Alma woke to shouting. Loud voices, all speaking Korean. She got up and pulled on a robe. When she opened the bedroom door, she could see into the living room. It was full of men, at least 12, all in suits, all armed. Tae-san was standing in the middle of them, calm, controlled. An older man stepped forward. He spoke in English. For her benefit, maybe. You've left us no choice. You're removed as head of the family. On what grounds? Tae-san's voice was cold. On the grounds that you put personal interests above the family, that you've made us weak, that you've shown yourself unfit to lead. Who decided this? The council. The vote was unanimous. Tae-san looked around at the men. Some wouldn't meet his eyes. And what happens now? Now you leave. Take your woman and go. If you stay in Seoul, you're a dead man. Tae-san was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. Fine. The men looked surprised, like they'd expected a fight. Tae-san turned and walked to the bedroom. The men parted to let him through. When he came into the room, Alma was standing there with tears running down her face. I heard, she said. We need to leave. Now. Tae-san, this is my fault. No. He grabbed her shoulders. This is not your fault. They were looking for an excuse. I gave them one. But it's not your fault. What are we going to do? Leave Seoul. Go somewhere safe. They packed quickly. When they were ready, Tae-san took her hand. Whatever happens, he said, we're together. Together, Alma repeated. They walked out through the living room. The men watched them go. At the door, Tae-san stopped and looked back. You think removing me makes you safe. It doesn't. You just made the family weaker. When your enemies realize that you'll regret this. No one answered. Tae-san and Alma left. They drove for hours, out of Seoul, into the mountains, to a different safe house. Smaller, more remote. We'll be safe here, Tae-san said, for a while at least. Alma looked around. One bedroom, small kitchen, basic furniture. What happens next? I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. That night, as they lay in bed, Alma asked a question that had been eating at her. Do you regret it? Choosing me? No, but you lost everything. I lost an empire built on violence and fear. I kept the only thing that matters. What's that? You. Alma turned to face him. I love you. I love you too. They fell asleep, holding each other. But the next morning, everything changed. Someone knocked on the door. Tae-san grabbed his gun and moved to the window. He looked out, then relaxed slightly. He opened the door. Min-woo stood there, looking nervous. Hyung-nim, he said, I need to talk to you. They stepped outside. Alma watched from the window, saw them talking, saw Tae-san's expression change. Hardened. When he came back, and his face was unreadable. What's wrong? Alma asked. My cousin, the one who took over the family. He's made a deal with Khevin. Alma's blood went cold. What? Kevin's out of custody. Diplomatic immunity. He's working with my family now, giving them information about me, about you, about where we might be. How is that possible? You said he was arrested. The embassy pulled strings, got him released, in exchange for information. What do we do? Tae-san was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, I'm going back to Seoul. What? No, they'll kill you. Not if I move first. Tae-san, I'm ending this. For good. So we can actually have a life without constantly running. I'm coming with you. No, you stay here. You'll be safe. I'm not staying here while you go get yourself killed. Alma, no, we're together. Remember? Whatever happens, we're together. Tae-san looked at her. Something in his expression softened. You're sure? I'm sure. They drove back to Seoul that night. Min-woo met them, gave them information, locations, security details, everything they'd need. Are you sure about this, Hyung-nim? Min-woo asked. I'm sure. It's going to be bloody. I know. The next morning, Tae-san left before dawn. He kissed Alma goodbye, told her to wait at Min-woo's apartment, promised he'd come back. Be safe, she said. I will. But hours passed with no word. Alma tried to stay calm. Try not to think about all the ways this could go wrong. Then Min-woo's phone rang. He answered. His face went pale. What? Alma demanded. What happened? We need to go to the hospital. Now. Alma ran through the hospital corridors. Min-woo struggling to keep up. She didn't care about protocol. Didn't care about anything except getting to Tae-san. Min-woo grabbed her arm outside her room. Alma, wait. You should know. She pushed past him, opened the door. Tae-san was in the bed, bandages everywhere, bruises on his face, blood seeping through the gauze on his side. But his eyes were open, and when he saw her, he smiled. You came. Alma ran to him, grabbed his hand. What happened? Are you? I'm fine, just banged up, Min-woo said. Min-woo worries too much. Tae-san squeezed her hand. It's over, Alma. Really over this time. What do you mean? I challenged my cousin, same as I did with my uncle. Traditional combat. Winner takes the family. And I won. He's alive, but he's stepping down. Min-woo is taking over. Young blood, new direction, and I'm officially out. Free. And Khevin, Tae-san's expression went cold. Dealt with permanently. Alma didn't ask what that meant. She didn't want to know. She just held Tae-san's hand and tried not to cry. It's really over? She asked. It's really over. Recovery took weeks. Tae-san hated being in the hospital, but Alma stayed with him, helped him, took care of him. When he was finally released, they went back to his apartment. It felt different now, lighter somehow. Tae-san healed slowly, started working with Min-woo, advising, teaching, helping him lead the family in a better direction. Alma went back to school, finished her degree, started thinking about the future. One night, about 2 months after everything had settled, they were sitting on the couch. Alma was reading. Tae-san was watching her. What? She asked without looking up. Marry me? Alma's head snapped up. What? Marry me. Build a life with me. Tae-san, I know it's been crazy. I know we've been through hell. But I also know I want forever with you. So what do you say? Alma looked at this man who'd saved her, who'd fought for her, who'd given up everything to be with her. Yes, she said. Yes, I'll marry you. Tae-san smiled, pulled her into his lap, kissed her like she was everything. They got married quietly. Small ceremony. Just close friends. Alma's family joined by video. Tae-san opened a restaurant. Ghanaian and Korean fusion. Alma cooked. Tae-san managed. It was hard work, but it was theirs. Sometimes late at night, after closing, they'd sit in the empty restaurant and talk. Do you miss it? Alma asked one night. The power. The family. Tae-san thought about it. Sometimes. But then I look at what I have now, and I realize I don't miss any of it. This is better. This is real. Even on the hard days, especially on the hard days, because on the hard days, I have you, and that makes everything worthwhile. Alma leaned against him. I love you. I love you too. Thank you for running to me that night, for trusting me, for choosing me. Thank you for not letting go. They sat there in the quiet, two people who'd found each other in the darkness and chosen to build something in the light. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't a fairy tale, but it was real, and it was theirs. And sometimes that was more than enough. That was everything.